right, our second book club.
December.
December book
In
club.
January, but
Yeah. But holidays were
yeah.
crazy, and we had to be all over the place. So, but yeah, we're
Are you
good.
sure we're live? I don't see us live yet.
It's getting there.
Oh, there it goes.
Yeah.
Oh.
Takes a couple seconds for it to sometimes pop up.
Oh, there we go.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Yep. Okay. Yay. So this month's book, I have it above us, is The Crimson Run. By Yasmin Salama. I think I said that right. Crystal was amazing and did a whole bunch of notes.
A little too much notes.
Little thing in green from me down there, but you know what? We're totally, we did a thing.
I spent most of the morning because I forgot to do it earlier in the week. So
you know what? Yeah, and you've got it. Okay, so as Crystal started out, it is set in a industrial revolution, early 19th century vibe.
Oh.
Do you want to go over how we picked this book? I think that would be interesting to do before we get into it.
Yes. So, we went to Steampunk November back on November 15th, 16th time.
Yeah,
I believe.
That sounds about right.
Yeah, and we were fortunate enough to have our booth neighbor be this author. And Crystal and I decided to make her book our month for December, or book for December, on top of, she was also super sweet.
Yeah.
We also helped her out a lot with watching her booth, and if she had to go run and get something or do something.
Yeah, because we had 5 of us and she had herself. So.
Yeah, she was all by herself. So we wanted to help her out where we could, be good booth neighbors. So when we got them, me and Crystal decided, sitting behind her booth, that we were gonna make her booth, her book, our December book, and it was not my typical book that I would read, because usually I go for like romance or something like that, but I was pleasantly.
And that's what I'm excited about this book club. Is gonna, I don't want to say forced because that doesn't sound right, but it's going to get me out of my, hey, I read this and I read this, like my two roads, and I don't really take a different path. So it was definitely really, really interesting.
Yeah, I
enjoyed it. I laughed throughout the book.
I did too, and I did mark, it's right here, sorry. We were discussing February's book club before the stream. I did tag a good bit, and I have quite a few yellow spots, which were the parts where I laughed and thought it was really funny throughout this book. There is a good chunk of the book where I do not have tags, and that is because I got so sucked in I forgot to tag. So
good thing I was here.
Yes.
We got notes.
Yeah, we have notes, and I do have everything up here. It just, it happens. But yeah, no, the author for this, she was so sweet, so awesome, and out of everywhere, we found a book to read at a basically steampunk convention.
Of course, it happened to be right next to, us who absolutely love reading books.
Yeah.
So it was like it was fate. It meant to be.
Yeah.
It was meant to be.
It was meant to be the December book. It was meant to be. So anyway, either one of y'all want to take off from here? Sorry. My phone keeps blowing up.
So,
like
as Shelby was saying earlier, it was the setting was basically the Industrial Revolution, early 19th century. I believe it was in like the Spain. I think we were also in Liverpool, England.
yes.
I think at one point in time. So it was kind of in that area.
Mm-hmm.
So, as the title says, the Crimson, you meet the Crimson Twins, which we'll discuss here in a second. But in the early chapters, some of the main characters you'll meet is Alex Corbin. He was the inventor of the mousetrap. I believe it was like the first or second chapter, because I just put early chapters because I didn't start writing actual chapter names until later.
Yeah.
He goes to, I believe it was Morgan Garnett. He goes to him, and his invention was basically rejected. Or goes to somebody, and his invention was rejected. They told him it wasn't good enough. And then we meet Lord Garnett himself. He was I believe, the owner of the Garnett Industries, which we'll hear a lot of in this book. So the first time we see him, he was robbed, but he says nothing of value was taken. It was basically random rubbish. That was a very interesting part, because to me, like, why would you, if it was just completely random, why would you go, oh, yeah, I understand telling people you were robbed, but if I can recall, he made a big deal out of it. I thought that was very interesting.
Yeah. It was like making something out of what he wanted everyone to think was nothing.
Yeah, so that really got me questioning the Garnett guy, because if I can remember right, he was very rude to Corbin and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I also thought it was very peculiar that there was like almost a sense of chaos that was left behind, because I think I remember in the first chapter or two, amongst the robbery, there were bugs everywhere, like insects of different kinds.
I know.
And you're like, and I'm like, is this what the is this what the setting of is this what the tone of the book is gonna be? It's just a lot of like, peculiar things that you don't typically see.
But I think at one point in time they were saying like that's their calling card, was just bugs and a mess,
leaving leaving chaos in their tracks or something.
Yeah, and well, and I mean, my first mind was like, why would you need a mousetrap? Like, I know that's like code name for what it really was, but my first instinct when I first read it was all this hoopla about a mousetrap.
Wait, was it not an actual mousetrap?
No, you learn later on what it actually was.
Yeah.
That's in my note later on.
Okay.
Yeah.
But yeah, it wasn't an actual mousetrap, which I thought was weird, because at first, like Chubby was saying, I thought it was an actual like way to trap a mouse, and I'm like, well, that's weird.
Yeah, because I thought, because the way he said it, it was like, well, it was a mousetrap, but better. It was a better mousetrap, and I was like, oh, okay, a mousetrap, all
right. Maybe one day when Kendall wants to be on camera. I don't think she wants to be on camera right now.
I don't know how y'all would set that up.
I can definitely set it up.
Yeah, we can make it happen.
I can make it happen while you're in here.
Okay.
Okay, so
maybe next month. We'll talk about it.
Next month, we'll get it fixed for Kendall to be a part of this. We'll fix it so we have a Kendall in the middle.
Yeah.
No, maybe not in the middle.
Center stage.
Just
no.
Yeah.
Bigger than the book. No.
Yeah. But no, I enjoyed. I did like the fact that she like in the beginning she's like wanting to start figuring out. She's like, oh, this was stolen. I want to start going on these investigations and stuff like that. She's very.
And the she Shelby's talking about, because we have not introduced her, is Isabel. what was his last name? Vice or
Vice? I was reading it as Vice.
I don't know.
That's what I read it as.
Yeah, I
but
read it as
I know
Vice.
that's probably not right. But yeah, she definitely wanted to arrest the Crimson Thieves because right now she thinks, everything is connected to them.
Yeah.
And so there's two of them, twins, Jasper and Scarlet, are the two Crimson Thieves. I don't think in my notes I reference them as their names too much, but they did have those names.
I mean, whenever you hear about them, I think they're called the Crimson Siblings. Yeah, they're called
Crimson Thieves or siblings. Yeah,
they're referenced a couple times like that throughout the book.
Yeah, because I think when they're referenced throughout the book, they'll usually refer to Jasper as just Crimson.
Yeah,
and then Scarlet Crimson as either Scarlet Crimson or a little childlike girl.
Yes.
Yeah.
and so you're like,
which is interesting because it's like they're twins, but they call Jasper Crimson, and then
I think he was, the mastermind of it all. He was almost like I almost got the feeling that he was more of the assassin. I don't want to call her an assassin, but she was the muscle or something. He was the brain, she was the muscle almost.
He was the brain, she was the brawn. But also, and this is kind of like foreshadowing with a lot of stuff. I do wish we got a little bit more of them, just to see. But maybe the next book.
Yeah, I mean, the ending of this book. I mean, there's definitely going to be a next one because I even like how she said, every book worth reading has a sequel. So we are expecting a next one.
Yep. Which as soon as that drops, definitely gonna get.
Yeah. Hopefully we can hit her up and have her mail it to us or something.
Maybe. But the Crimson Siblings do cause a lot of chaos at a circus in this book. Trying not to bend my pages. Anytime there is chaos throughout the book, it's immediately put to the Crimson Run. Immediately put to the Crimson Siblings. Even when it's probably not even them.
Right. They get blamed for everything.
Yeah. Throughout this book.
And I do like this quote. I think it refers back to what Kendall said. In the book, it does say, clearly a Crimson Run. Big, expensive mess and nothing of value stolen.
Yeah.
That they know of. I mean, that part's not in the book, but they definitely leave a big mess behind every time they do something.
Yeah, and I do love main character Isabel, her witty remarks to things. And one of the quotes that I did put to the side, it's like, cat, dog, horse, careful, Catherine, you're dangerously close to using all the words you know. I laughed so hard because that's something I would say. But the smart remarks, the witty banter, when she says it is a lot like Sherlock and Series of Unfortunate Events, she wasn't kidding.
Right.
It's definitely, it was giving those vibes the whole time I was reading it.
I got one later on that I put in my notes that I was laughing so hard when I read it. It was something about the metaphors, Isabel's not good at metaphors. It's not the author's fault,
Yes. Yes. I thought that was so funny. I did like those, getting closer towards the end, you see them a little bit more, and I have a golden tag next to the one that I'm one quote I'm obsessed with that I loved. Well, it's not really a quote, it's just a part that happens that I loved. It was so good. Anyway, so sorry, I keep hopping. So what you have here is Isabel believes the Crimson siblings are connected to a series of thefts, slandering, and suspicious deaths, but doesn't have the evidence. Isabel says they steal worthless objects to hide a more sinister motive. Which, that thought crossed my mind often.
Mm-hmm.
Because I was like, okay, so we're seeing this thing stolen, but what if it was more, and we just don't know that more that extensive, like it could just be a cover up for something bigger that was stolen.
Exactly. Yeah. Also, the thought crossed my mind a couple times, like, what if the person reporting it, isn't saying what the invention was that was stolen or what it could do? Like, there's a lot of that going on in my mind. Like, are they really telling, like, the mousetrap?
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, the whole time I'm thinking a mousetrap throughout the whole book until a certain part when they say what it actually is.
Yeah.
Which I won't say until the end because
that's big spoiler. Yes,
yeah.
I did text her and let her know that we were talking about it.
Yeah.
So I know she's busy, and I haven't heard back from her since Christmas, so I know she's probably busy.
Yeah, I mean, she was a musician. She's got a lot of things going on, so
yeah. So
hopefully she'll watch it later because we did enjoy the book.
We did very much.
But yeah, so basically Isabel is at the circus investigating the stuff. I put that they find a briefcase filled with stacks of papers. I believe the papers had filled with lists of randomly objects that had no connection to each other. So I was like, what's going on with that? Like, obviously they wrote it down for a reason. But again, like this whole time I'm like, is people leaving clues? Like, especially when we get later on to like the train, like they purposely leave stuff behind. So I'm like, be up with this.
Well, and finding those stacks of paper and everything she was doing, getting towards a party that her father was hosting. Right? It was her father hosting it?
Yeah.
I believe so.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. And she ends up getting Count Downey, which I chuckled at that name.
Upton Downey.
Yeah.
The names, I couldn't get enough.
Yeah, the
names are amazing.
They were so good. And but getting him arrested, I felt like something significant, like something big was going to happen, because her dad was not happy that she had that happen at his party. And at first I was like, oh, because of like image, like he's a higher up and he got someone arrested from his party, so it makes him look bad. And then I was like, no, I think something more is going to happen here.
Right, especially because Isabel doesn't think what she's doing would hurt her family.
Not at all.
Rep.
Not at all.
So she's like, why is he causing a big problem? So yeah, that exact thought, like, that seems suspicious. Why is he that upset? Like, if he really was connected to everything, like, why wouldn't she be praising when that helped your family's reputation, not harm it? Like,
well, and my thing is like, how dare you talk to your daughter that way? Like, I wanted to fucking punch the shit out of that motherfucker.
Yeah, I was not. Isaiah, I think is
like,
his name is.
Yeah, I was not a fan. I was 10 out of 10, not a fan.
Yeah, I felt the same way, but it was also one of those where I had to like go back and realize, oh, this is like what is it, 19th century, England. She's a lady of the house. She's under her father's roof. There's a lot going on, and that was my justification. A lot of politics at play. That was my justification for like not thinking he was super suspicious.
Yeah.
But I also had notes at the end of the chapter of like, what does he have to be so upset about?
Right?
Other than because there were little snippets throughout the chapter while he was like talking with her. He would have moments where he'd be like a sweet, endearing father, but also keep your nose out of heavy business.
Exactly. And it's like, why are you this mad? Like, why are you this mad?
Overly mad.
Yeah. And like insulting your daughter, and it's like, okay, so now you're not allowed to leave the house. You need to act like a lady and things like that. And I was like, excuse me? Like,
yeah. I could reach through the book and strangle now.
If I could,
he was trying to snip that in the bud way early.
Yeah, it was early on in the book that happened, and I was just like,
yeah, that was 1 through 3 because we haven't even started, chapter 4 discussion yet. So that was the first 3 chapters.
Yeah, that it was crazy.
That was pretty early in the book.
Yeah. Let's see here.
It was kind of like it was a whole like watch yourself or else things are going to get really bad. But
yeah.
She didn't quite put that 2 and 2 together, and she didn't know in what way that would impact her.
Well, yeah. Sorry. I'm getting caught up with that to the book from my tabs.
Oh, yeah. But also the first couple of chapters, we find out Isabel, because it does come into play later in the story, has a wall of newspaper clippings of all the robberies, and I think this is also when we find out that the inventors are being discredited and their names smeared in the papers. 4 of them allegedly committed suicide, and 2 met with unusual death. All of them were said to be on the brink of new discoveries, which goes back to Isabel believing the Crimsons are involved with like the sinister stuff, the suspicious death and things like that. Like she believes it's all connected to the Crimson siblings.
Yes, which I feel, and this is the takeaway from the entire thing, is I feel like it's being pinned a lot on them. And this is not mentioned in the book. It's just, I feel like it's mentioned a lot on them, but I have a feeling it's like they're made out to be the villain, but the real villain is the one yelling wolf, basically. If that makes any sense at all. I feel like something bigger is at work and it's all being pinned on the Crimson.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I got that. Or they're at least a big part of it, or part of something bigger, so to speak, is what I thought.
Yes. Yes. Reading this whole thing, I felt like it was like, I feel like there's something deeper here they're just like the tip of the iceberg, and something more, especially when you get later in this book. It's just kind of like,
Yeah, and that's even mentioned amongst like Isabel's thought process. Like while she's reviewing her board, she kind of chimes in on how, she had always been after the Crimson siblings, and she wasn't originally going to investigate the patent scandals with all these inventors like randomly dying off until one inventor asked for her help. She declined it, and then he died. And she was like, well, this is bigger than I thought. And she managed to, like, through her, like, logic and reasoning and all of the quote-unquote evidence that she has on her board, she was able to make connections between the Crimson siblings and the patent scandal. And this quote-unquote puppet master that she claims is, like, manipulating all of it.
Yeah.
So she's like, so how are the Crimson siblings connected? Are they like the right-hand lackeys? What are they?
Well, and that's what I thought of. That's what I thought about when you mentioned the board she has in her room, Crystal, is like, I feel like she's going to connect something somewhere down the road, especially with that board. For now.
Yeah.
For now. Especially what happens later. But you have here with the newspaper clippings on her wall, and the inventors are being desecrated. I read that right?
Discredited.
And their names smeared in the paper. Yeah, so going back to that, it's like, it's obviously something's going on.
Yeah.
I'm reading also the notes. I read through them, but now I'm like, wait a minute. There's a bullet point I didn't see. Dyslexia kicked in.
Yeah. So we're at the point where now Count flees to the countryside.
Yes,
He
yes,
is
yes, yes.
under house arrest. We also meet a new character. I believe this is the first time we meet the chief of police. And I did find it interesting that during this time, according to the book, the police is like an experiment. Like they don't. I took it as they didn't have full like justice, like full reign as like the police do today, so to speak. Like it was very like a trial period. Even Chief says at one point in time in the book, the quickest way for my staff and my men to be fired, imprisoned, or even dead is to start arresting like lords and higher up people because it's a very experimental phase at this point.
Yes. Yeah, because they get their like funds and stuff through like the nobility or like at least wealthy people or the government or whatever.
Yep.
And that's especially made known in the fact that I don't remember where specifically it was mentioned, but it was mentioned early that Lady Isabel is a very big, very large patron of the constabulary.
Yeah.
Because she provides a lot of funds.
Yes.
And her family
later in the
kind
book,
of,
he tells her to like go away.
Exactly.
Her money.
Her family writes it off as, oh, she's just a big supporter of like justice and humanity, and that's good on our image, I guess.
Yeah. And let's see. Well, and Crystal, you put a quote in here that I guess you enjoyed in that part too. That about the my men get fired, imprisoned, dead, start arresting the lords.
I just thought it kind of reminded me that it's the whole like they couldn't just go arresting anybody. Like they really like they were in the pockets of all the nobles, the lords, the houses. Like they could turn up dead. Like pissing off the wrong people.
Exactly. And then in this same area, Corbin is robbed and the house is a mess and his invention is stolen.
Yeah, Corbin comes stumbling in while Brighton and Isabel are talking in his office. And I thought it was really funny how they were doing this whole like this stare off, this like staring contest of like it's like they were shooting fire at each other's eyes, and I don't have the book with me, but it was like, and they just kept staring as if the building would like set on fire at any moment. And then after the fire brigade left after cleaning up the fire, they still stared at each other, not blinking away. And then I've been robbed, and I'm just like, okay.
I'm
like,
that.
All right, yeah.
Yep. I'm getting to kind of close to where we were. Yeah.
I want to say this is where, after that, like, I want to say, like, Chief wasn't going to send anybody to his place. And that's when, like, Isabel told him she would go help. And she does steal one of the detective badges before she leaves the office, which I was like, yep, should have known.
Yep.
That's
what is she going to do now?
That's when you start to, like, or at least that's when I started to wonder, it's like, how does Isabel get away with, other than like paying the salaries of all the men essentially, how does she actually get away with taking part in all these investigations? And it's like, in pretty sketchy ways, actually, considering the first thing you see is like she steals a badge and lies to Corbin about helping him, and like, oh yeah, Chief Brighton totally knows about this.
Right. Yeah. She tells him later that, I think in the same section, tells him, the chief wants him for a special case and it's supposed to be hush hush, and
yeah, so don't tell anybody.
Not
even the chief.
Let's see. And then we also meet another new character, which is Monty. I hope I'm saying that right.
Yeah, I do want to say that the Corbin is, I think him and Isabel is in a disagreement at that point that
Yes.
Isabel still thinks it's the Crimson that did Corbin's robbery.
Yes.
And Corbin was like, no, there's 4 different sets of footprints. There's white dust found at the scene, which will come into play,
Yes.
shortly. But yeah, it was staged to look like Crimson Run, and it wasn't, according to Corbin, which I was like, okay, go him. He's more, I think it almost reminded me that Isabel was like forcing everything to be the Crimson's fault. Like, you have it in your mind that, yes, this is the Crimson. You're not going to look at any other evidence that might tell you otherwise.
Yeah.
Like, she was just dead set that everything is their fault.
Yeah. And like I said before, it's like, I feel like it's like, okay, well, this happened. Okay, well, it had to be the Crimson Run. It's like, hold on.
Yeah.
Wait a minute.
It's almost like with every new piece of information that she gathered or every new piece of evidence that she had, she tried to fit it into this incredibly like thin narrative. This very specific narrative of the Crimsons had to have done it. It had to have been the Crimsons who work for the puppet master, and here's how each piece fits. But then, she keeps that up throughout the book, and everyone can tell, even the readers can tell, it can get increasingly difficult for her to fit all those pieces together that clearly don't.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yep. And it's crazy how it's starting to pick up at this time. Like, I noticed it really started picking up with the story and getting further into it.
Yeah, we meet a lot of new characters.
Yeah.
Like you were saying, Monty
is Irish.
Yeah. Which, I don't know why I put that. I just was very interesting that they specifically put that he was Irish. And I'm like, okay.
I just think it's really funny because, like, you put his full name and then went Irish, and I was like, so he's Irish.
Like, I didn't know that before. That's crazy.
I mean, I didn't know that. Crazy.
I want to say, like, I don't think I put it in my notes, but it like came up a couple times that Monty was Irish, and like, later in the book we know who certain people are.
Yep.
But I want to say that it was connected in some way, which, like I said, I wrote a lot of notes that I didn't know if it was be needed, and I pretty much wrote them all down. I was like, we can just bypass everything. So.
And I will say, because Monty is Irish, I know a perfect person who could voice him if they ever did an audiobook.
Stop. Stop. We know exactly who you're talking about.
Okay. Let's see.
Yeah, so what is it? They meet Monty because of the dust that they found at Corbin's apartment, right?
And I feel like, and I felt this, like, at that time, I was like, I feel like Monty is the informant. I feel like Monty knows everything going on. I feel like he's the guy who's got all the answers, but he's like, you gotta do shit to get the answers. You've gotta, or he'll at least point you in the right direction to get the answers you're looking for. And it's so Monty tells them there were construction workers, most likely from Garnet's industries, and so I feel like that pointed her in another direction to go and start investigating over that way towards it.
But yeah, he does tell them that the white dust has traces of metal in it.
Yes.
Which then leads them to know we meet a new character, Thomas Brass.
Yes.
And I did note that, of course that means, since the white dust basically is from Thomas Brass, it means, the workers may have been working for Brass or at least visited him recently. They make a note of that. And they also said that Brass, which I thought was interesting, Brass left Garnet Industries. And then, he's also known for making medical equipment. So I'm like, he might be a, person of interest that, Crimson or the construction workers and stuff really would like to be informed of,
Oh, yeah. And let's see. Which
that was pretty much the
most of that. You did talk about Isabel not being good with metaphors.
Yeah. So I really enjoyed the headlines on all the chapters.
Big.
Yes, the headlines were really cool. I liked I liked the way they looked too.
Mm-hmm.
They were
I like that. That was a nice touch.
They're a nice little.
Yeah.
I gotta get the camera angle right, but yeah, they looked really good.
But these last couple, like the headline for the 6 or 7, I don't remember, is Brass's mansion blows up.
Yes.
Or he blows up his own mansion is what the headline says.
Yeah.
But yeah, this is when we find out that Brass has been making that metal.
Mm-hmm.
I did put that he was making it for an anonymous benefactor for years.
Yes.
And then I found it really interesting because I think in the book they say, he recently started selling to other people, and like a day later, that's when, like, I think it was like the very next day is when his mansion blew up. So I was like, somebody, whoever that first benefactor was, did not like him selling it to other people.
Yeah, somebody got mad. Somebody was like, no, you only sell to me.
Yeah.
So we'll send a message. Blow up your house. That escalates quickly.
Yeah.
Yeah. It all got blamed on Thomas Brass himself, which follows the pattern of like ruining his reputation. A lot of the people who saw it kind of summed it up as, oh, he's just a senile old man. You know, he's gonna kick the bucket, like whatever. So his reputation at this point is ruined.
Yeah. And it's, let's see. Isabel and meet together. The worker tells Brass he should have been killed in the explosion. Yeah, so the workers, which are...
So yeah, Brass, Isabel, and Corbin goes.
Yeah.
Brass was supposed to plan to meet, I think, the morning or the evening that his mansion blew up. He was supposed to meet, his benefactor at a site, and then they all 3 go together.
Yeah. Yep. Given upon Isabel's recommendation, suggestion.
Sorry, I keep yawning.
You're good.
And that's when the workers, they meet the construction workers, and the workers tell Brass that he should have been killed in the explosion. They were basically, he was not supposed to be there. And I didn't make a note that, like, the leader of the meeting was late, and they suspected the reason he was late, or Isabel, I think, expected, he was late because, the meeting wasn't actually supposed to happen. So, like, the leader of this construction workers were late because Brass wasn't ever supposed to actually come to the meeting.
Yeah.
He was supposed to be dead.
Yeah, he was supposed to die. And that didn't happen. But during the meeting, Brass tells him he's not here alone, and then gets hit in the face with the mallet.
By Cleaver.
Fitting. Very fitting with the name. Very fitting.
You'll see a pattern there too.
Yeah, you'll definitely see a pattern. And Brass is now dead.
Yep.
They were successful. He is now dead.
Yeah, so what is it? Isabel and Corbin end up making their escape.
Yes.
With some grade A improvisation from Corbin.
Improv,
via distraction, like by screaming like a little girl.
Yes.
And Isabel was able to get away.
Yes. Yep.
Yeah, but then you get some insight as to who these construction workers are, and they call themselves the Welders.
Yes.
And so each of their names, they named their bad guy names, as they like to say.
I have a quote for that.
Yeah, they come from the way in which they unalive people.
Yep.
Yeah, how do they take people out?
Yes, so you have Cog, Strangler, Smithy, and Gage.
Yeah, and Cleaver, the leader.
And Cleaver, which is the leader, which
She
then
just killed Brass.
yes,
with the mallet.
which in turn brings in a new character that we call Steve.
Steve.
And then there is a quote here.
No bad guy. That's so great.
I love the bad guy Steve. I love it. But the quote that I have here, Cog nods and sits down, and he goes, "All right then, next order of business. Steve, have you selected your bad guy name yet?" And I laughed so hard at that because it was so funny. But I really did enjoy Steve's character because he does get interrogated. He's like, "Were you here?" "No." "Another question." "No." And it's like very either smart aleck answers or just no. And so I remember sitting at the coffee shop with Kendall looking at her, and I go, "Does Steve know any other word other than no?" Like, I mean, and so it was pretty funny reading.
Yeah.
I loved Steve. I loved reading Steve's stuff. He was hilarious. Definitely one of my favorite characters in here. Sorry, I'm getting back to where I was.
You're good.
And another here we go.
So the construction workers, I thought was funny.
Ahead.
Had the round table. It's where they go and like they almost had that like, we can discuss our feelings at this round table.
It was like a very constructive support group.
Yes.
And they followed rules on how to treat each other with respect and dignity, and we value each other's opinions,
even the stupid ones.
So even the stupid ones. Even Steve with no bad guy name yet.
It's coming.
Yeah, that was funny.
I think that was my favorite. Like seeing the chapters with the welders and their round table sessions. I think those are my favorite parts of the whole thing, because in like Isabel's perspective or Corbin's perspective or any of theirs, you'll see the welders as these big bad guys, and they're like super strong and they're threatening and they're gonna kill you. But then like the next perspective would be one of the welders, and they're having their round table session, and they're like, "Okay, fellas, so how do you think we did on this last run?" It's like, do we have any critiques? Do we have any feedback? Anything's appreciated? Be respectful. And I'm like, oh my gosh, applause.
So here's what it was giving. The vibe it was giving was the brutes from the Snuggly Duckling and Tangled.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because they were all villains, but they're all like, "I'd rather be knitting. I'd rather have my little ceramic unicorns."
You say that as I'm knitting right now.
Oh my god. But yeah, so it definitely was giving like the bad guys from Tangled in that moment at the round table. It's like, okay, guys, like all of them having drinks and just discussing what went wrong, what went right, and what to do in the future. It was fantastic.
They all had dreams.
They had a dream. They have a dream.
Yeah, that was great. I enjoyed that chapter, especially that first round table chapter. Like it was hilarious. I think the next note is the Crimson shows up to make the drop on the train. They go to a train. I don't remember how they got to the train. I didn't write that part down. But she finds out, I think Isabel finds out that they were supposed to make a drop on a train, so she followed them. I think they both showed up, right?
Yeah,
Jasper and Scarlet shows up. Isabel does end up following Jasper with the gun, but it doesn't turn out so well for her.
No.
No.
Oh
man.
Okay. Let's see.
I just remember they both end up. Corbin tries to rescue her, right, and then they both end up like hanging outside the train.
I feel like every time Corbin tried to help, it was just like,
why are you even trying, dude?
Yeah, I think, what was it? Isabel ended up hanging upside down over the train by chains along with the welders. And I think Corbin's leg got broken.
Yes.
If I remember correctly.
Yes.
And his pants were down to his ankles or something like that because Scarlet stole his belt or something. I don't know.
Like I feel like Scarlet is one of those people who steals something that makes it so inconvenient for you. Like she will steal your TV remote.
Yeah. Like I don't need your TV. Just need you to not be able to watch it.
Yeah, exactly. So I'm gonna just take the remote and then you'll be good. Like that. Then I did my job. I feel like.
Yeah.
I feel like that was definitely a lot of fun. Other than the fact that Corbin broke his leg, but you know.
I liked him in the very beginning. He was always like, "Don't be a coward. Don't be a coward.
Don't be a coward." Yeah, he's like,
"I don't have time to be a coward."
I just see it as, "Don't fuck up. Don't fuck up. Don't fuck up."
I can do this. I can do this.
I can do this.
He tried.
He did. He really did, and So I was telling Kendall about how like I noticed that he has a stuttering problem, and so Kendall was like, because she sometimes doesn't like the stuttering problem in some books. His wasn't that bad.
It depends on who writes it, and his wasn't bad.
Yeah.
It was kind of like he did have something to fear. It was almost as if he were like chronically nervous all the time.
I got that feeling. It was
a lot of, and he's not confident. And also with the way that it wasn't just the typical Wattpad stutter, if you know what I'm talking about, where it's a lot of it's just the start of certain words that are written out, are just very what's the term, prolonged or elongated. Whereas no, it's not just that with Alex. He's also kind of stumbling over his words, and he's having to kind of repeat himself or stuff like that. So it didn't it's all on opinion, and it didn't trigger my ick. It was fine.
Which,
that's
good. That's very good. And then I lost my place because I got so busy with looking here. I didn't look here. Let's see.
So they do find the lunchbox on the train.
They
the
do.
Chief does.
They do.
But he never had enough evidence to actually arrest the welders. But I think they end up doing, because they end up in jail too. So
yeah.
Which I thought that was weird, but they do end up in jail. But before that, this is when Chief tells Isabel that he no longer wants her money for the police because she's causing a lot of problems. Yeah, it's constant problems that he's almost having to clean up her messes, and he's like, it's too much work. Like, go take your money somewhere else.
Yeah, because I think, what is it? He also found out about the stolen badge.
Yeah, I believe so. Yeah.
Yeah,
I know Corbin finds out the secret mission was all a lie.
Yeah,
at this point,
and he was like, "You used me." Yeah. And it's like, what does that make me? Isabel's
losing all of her people behind her.
Yep.
It's like she's finally realizing her methods of trying to play investigator they are not effective. They're blowing up in her face.
They are not. And then it moves on to the welders are in jail.
Which that scene was pretty hilarious too.
Yeah,
because they're still having their roundtable sessions with the other prisoners
around. In jail. Which is fantastic. I love it. I mean, you gotta have that support group no matter where you're at, even if it's jail.
I mean, better time to do while you're in jail. You have nothing else to do, right?
Exactly. Let's see.
And they're basically discussing that the Crimson Twins have the boss's weapon that he needs.
Yep.
Yeah. Which does play a part later on too, for sure. So yeah, Isabel ends up going back to the chief office, and she finds Lord Garnett there.
Yeah.
the jail cells at this time are overcrowded. So Garnett's being a super nice guy and was like, "Hey, let me take custody of these welders. Your cells are over full. Yeah, he's gonna keep them at the circus."
Oh, hi.
And I was like, suspicious. Like, no. Like, yeah.
And then
Isabel, go ahead.
Well, I was gonna say Isabel basically gets kicked out. They're like, go home.
Yeah.
Because she like a coward.
Yeah, she outs him to his face, also in front of the chief, and reveals his entire plan, along with all of the evidence that she claims that she has, all of the information, which low-key had me so peeved at her.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, you just revealed everything to your number one suspect.
Right.
And he's a man of power.
Yep.
And
like big
hello?
Power. Like,
so like Shelby said, the chief had every right to kind of kick her out after that. So
yeah, exactly. It was like, okay, you need to go home. You need to go home. You're making a bigger mess than there needs to be.
Little girl.
Yeah, little girl.
Like, shoot.
Yeah.
He didn't say that, no but more. That's what it...
Yeah. We can fund ourselves.
They in fact could not fund themselves.
No, they could not.
No,
they could not. But
not at all.
But we don't want Isabel in the middle of it anymore. So they had to pick and choose their battles.
Yeah.
So and then you did right here, which I'm happy you did. Is the chief is worried Lord Garnet could bring down everything, including the police and Isabel's family, which I started kind of putting pieces together with that, because I was like, the chief was mainly looking out for them.
Yeah. I started putting a lot of pieces together, especially after the headlines of the next chapter.
Yes. The headlines definitely left. I would pay attention to them because I'm like, that gave me some clues alone in the headlines.
For sure. Yeah.
On what?
Yeah, that was huge, and that's why I put a lot of them on my notes, because I think the next headline was that Isabel's family ends up going to court for treason accusations.
Yes.
So
because they found what is it called? Is it incriminating documents?
Incriminating documents that would support treason allegations.
Yes. I can't. Yeah. So and of course Isabel doesn't believe it's true because she just remembers her parents as these good people.
Yeah, at this time she doesn't know about.
Yeah.
Yeah, she doesn't find anything yet.
Oh well, yeah, she doesn't find anything really. It's a little later, but the headline for chapter 13 was Isabel's Vice. Are we agreeing it's Vice last name?
Sure.
Okay.
Sure.
All right. So Isabel Vice's family goes to court due to mounting treason accusations, and Corbin is at the bar and he runs into Jasper. There is where the chapter kind of happens, and I'm like, okay.
It was kind of split off. Like at the beginning, you hear like Jasper's at the bar, and then you don't see him until later on. But he ends up obtaining a clown outfit after following a drunk clown into the bathroom.
Which honestly, I think that was the most action he's ever gotten in the
entire
book.
You know what? You're not wrong.
Yeah.
So, no, it's
basically
like
Jasper's there with like the circus
troupe
people. Yeah. So he's like, how do I get closer to Jasper? Oh, let's follow this drunk clown, take his outfit, and go join them. And they do notice he notices that they add more parts to his mousetrap.
Yep.
Which I thought was interesting. I don't remember I don't think he said at that time what all they added to it. But yeah, so at this point, Garnet has the construction workers because he's so nice, and it's taking him. And this is also the chapter that Isabel decides to go to the circus to interrogate the welders. But she quickly finds out, there's a movie like that the police are the ones in the cage and the bad guys are the ones being the police. So basically the welders are wearing the police uniform and the police are in the gagged, I believe, in the cages. I was like, she definitely knows something's going on then.
Well, she knows something's going on, but it's like, I love when she's right. I love the fact that she's right. And they're all like, okay, so maybe we should start listening to Isabel.
Yeah, and I think at the next chapter or two is when the chief finally, starts to understand that Isabel may be right. Because I know during the chapters, like at one point in time, she's like, once you get that lunchbox open that they found on the train, it's going to be empty. And sure enough, he ends up getting it open and it's completely empty. So he really starts to believe her that she may be onto something.
Yep. Isabel starts putting all the puzzle pieces together. Like, she's slowly, over time, the puzzle pieces are just forming.
Yeah. And other people are starting to believe it now. She's not the only one, so that's good.
Yeah, which now she's not, like, being seen as, like, oh, you're just talking nonsense, this isn't actually happening. And now that they're actually seeing it, they're like, okay, maybe we should have listened, and maybe we should have done this like this way, and listen to Isabel. And then let's see, and this is getting close to since Cleaver and the gang are there and they're not trapped, Cleaver has Isabel when she shows up. Because they get into this argument, fight type thing.
I think it's the way I imagined most of that fight. It was a lot of confusion. It's kind of like in like the Tom and Jerry cartoons where or just any cartoons. These guys are fighting and it's a huge smoke cloud with like limbs sticking out everywhere. And that's how I imagined that, because it's like Isabel's fighting the welders dressed as constables, but then somebody freed the constables dressed as welders, and then the actual constables show up and are like, who do we fight? And then Garnet shows up. And then the Crimson show up, and then Corbin shows up dressed as a clown with the rest of the circus troupe, and they're like, who are we fighting? The constable. Wait. Just like,
yes.
No.
Yeah,
it was just a complete mess on that point.
It felt like the Spider-Man thing, just everybody pointing at each other, like
they're the bad people. No, we're the bad. Almost like Looney Tunes.
Yeah, exactly.
And she said,
it's like duck season, rabbit season.
Yes. Duck season, rabbit season.
Constable season, welder season.
Yeah, exactly. Let's see. But Cleaver does end up pulling a gun out and trying to shoot Isabel, but the gun doesn't fire due to the rain. Luckily, so she's saved at that point.
Yeah.
For now.
Yeah.
That girl was fighting for her life that whole chapter.
Dude.
Yeah.
I was touch and go there.
The almost like the whole book, she's constantly like in one problem or another. But I think this is right when the Scarlet ends up injuring the chief. I think I put like at one point like I thought later like sawed him in half, or like sawed him like one of those circus tricks or something, but the chief is injured during this time.
Yeah, that did have me question. Like, it's like as soon as I read sawed the chief in half, I was like, I'm sorry?
Yeah,
but then he's
but then he's alive.
Yeah, he
Yeah.
was like, yeah, no, I had to take sabbatical or whatever. I'm fine now. And I'm like, wait.
Wait.
And I'm like, okay, so this is how the logic is gonna go as far as death is concerned.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah. At this point, everybody's at the circus. Garnet's there.
Mm-hmm.
This is when we find out what the mousetrap is.
Yes.
Jackswell pulls it out, and in the book, I put specifically, it looks like a fat-barreled pistol without the hand grip.
Yeah.
So it's a gun.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's a gun.
Yeah. So the
Correct.
mousetrap is a gun, basically.
Okay, but was it? See, and this is where my confusion came in from earlier when y'all were like, "No, it wasn't actually a mousetrap." So when Constable Corbin invented the thing, was it actually a literal mousetrap or was it something else?
That part I don't know, because
I don't either.
we did talk that they added parts to the mousetrap.
Yeah.
So what it was originally, I assume it would have to be some kind of like device meant. Maybe it could have been a mousetrap, like of some sort, but
and then he
like how much
modified
could you
it.
add to modify it to be a gun? Like
Yeah, exactly.
I don't know.
Because
like, what more can you do?
If my memory is correct, it's like they also said something about Professor Brass's fulminate and like other pieces. So my guess would have been that like maybe they took pieces of the other inventors' inventions to build this weapon. The mousetrap being one of the more notable things. You know, the fulminate maybe also being another part of it. And so I imagined like a gun with a mousetrap in the middle of it. when I read this scene, I was like, huh?
Yeah.
But then it worked and I was like, oh.
Yeah.
That's
because Jasper used it and killed Strangler with it. So it is a fully functional gun.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. But killed him dead.
Yes.
Yeah, because he kills. No, he's dead. Because he does it to save Isabel. Because because his name is Strangler. You can imagine what he does to unalive people.
Yep.
Isabel is injured. She's almost hanged, I think, at that point in time. Yes. And Jasper kills Strangler
and saves her.
To save her, basically.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I read that and I thought they would have like some kind of talking point, key point for her and Jasper to like at least talk or something, and he just leaves after that. And I'm like, so you're gonna save her?
But I think she also like passed out because she like passes out and wakes up at home because she doesn't know who brought her home.
Yeah, at that time.
But she does find out who ends up bringing her home.
Yes.
Yeah, and it was Mr. Lord Garnet.
Yes, it was. Yuck.
Yeah.
Yuck.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. And then her basically, obviously we don't like Garnet.
Yeah, if you couldn't tell.
But at this time it's something with her maid. I'm trying to remember. It's something her nanny or her maid
that comes here in a minute.
Yeah. Starts coming through.
That's not quite yet.
Not quite yet. Okay, I thought that was.
She plays some part of like here, like her taking care of Isabel.
This
but
part,
the whole
the storyline kind of got a little confusing for me.
Come yet.
Yeah.
So I think essentially what kind of happened at that point is I think her dad probably came in because I remember somebody telling Isabel, you are going to play the part of a dutiful daughter and
That was her
lady of
dad,
the
yeah.
house.
That was her dad.
While your mother and I go do this. Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
And then you're going
play your role,
you're going to play your role.
Stay
Lord
in your
Garnet
lane.
will be here, and he is to escort you to this particular thing.
Yes.
And you are going to represent House Vice or whatever.
Yes.
Yeah.
And
she's like,
they end up,
oh, you're so unfair. Okay.
Yeah, and he basically tells her, stay in your
she
lane.
ends up,
and then proceeds every chapter from then on, you start getting the countdown to Garnet's party.
Yeah.
His expo.
You know,
his expo.
Yeah, Garnet, goes to the informant, who we don't officially know who it is yet, which I had suspicions. I'm sure you guys did too.
Oh,
but
yeah.
he basically tells the informant, the Crimson stole my weapon. He wants it back. And Crimson basically said it couldn't be done. Or not the Crimson, the informant says it couldn't be done. But he would get the best evidence there is.
Yep.
Because I specifically wrote that because I remember. But yeah, that's when the point, like, Isabel's injured, but she still goes to the party with Garnet because she was told to by her dad.
Yep.
And so there, which I did write. So Garnet and Isabel is at a party. He says some things to her, and I wrote a few of them down. One point he says, "I believe your family and mine shall enter into a most profitable arrangement." And I immediately was like, "Is there going to be arranged marriage?" Like,
yep. Ditto.
And he also says later on,
immediately where my brain went to.
My
exactly.
brain, yeah, my brain went there when Garnet brought her home and her dad walked in her room. I was like, is something gonna have to happen between her and Garnet? Like, no, fuck that guy. Like,
yeah. He also ends up telling her, "You need to marry well to recover from all this. Like, you made a big mess. Like, you need to have a big name to recover from this." But
you made a
but then his wife is mentioned, and you're like, wait. But also, who? Dodged the bullet there.
Yeah, so at this point, Garnet and Isabel is at a party. Corbin, and I believe the chief, goes to see Isabel at her home. She is at home. She leaves. Corbin decides to write her a letter and put it, instead of giving it to a maid or somebody, he takes it to her room, and that's when he finds her wall. And I, at this time, like, he was looking at the wall. He was pretty intrigued by the wall, like, all of her connecting the dots and things like that. That's, I can just imagine, you see all those, like, Criminal Minds shows where they're, like, connecting the lines here and there and there and there. Yeah. So that's what I was imagining at the time, which I'm sure, that's what it meant to be. But while looking at the wall, he heard and saw ruffians, like, people breaking in. So that was a pretty interesting part. At that time, you don't know what he does because he's like, I got to protect the evidence.
Yes.
Of the wall. Garnet even tells Isabel at the party, he tells her that tomorrow's headline promises to be sensational.
Yep.
Which I'm like, So, like, I remember this part because I'm like, I was supposed to go to bed. Like, I stayed up late. I'm like, I need to go to bed. But he told her that. And I'm like, okay, well, I guess I got to read the next chapter. Because I want to know. So, yeah, I think chapter 19 is basically where we're at now. So we're getting towards where it starts going really crazy. Starts getting really good. I think I finished the rest of it, like, the very next day. The headline for this one is "The letter is found at the Vice's house, puts nail in coffin." So this is when, Isabel comes home from the party. She finds it ransacked. She ends up going to her, I don't remember if it's the same day or the next day, but she ends up going to her father's office, ends at the house and finds, this is where she finds the document in his desk. Yeah, it was the same night. That's what I was thinking, but
yeah,
she finds really bad documents that basically bad enough that her father could be hanged for treason. Like, it's pretty bad when you could be hanged. for the information.
Yeah,
But of
little
course, she's
scary.
like, yeah.
So of course you're gonna want to
But
try
it
to
was
prove
basically,
that
implies that
wrong.
her family's involved with like Spanish mafia or something.
Yeah, and
So
of
I thought
course,
that was
like
very
it's
interesting.
yeah, and of course because she still has this like really high opinion and good-natured opinion about her family, she automatically assumes that these documents are forged and were put there
Yes,
um with malicious intent. So she goes to burn the documents.
And the maid
yeah,
stops her as fast as she can.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. That's
Yep.
when I was like, there's something. Obviously when the maid takes the documents, because I think that's when Smithy shows up. Like Smithy distracts
Oh,
her,
yeah.
and the maid runs out with the half burnt evidence. So I'm like,
Yeah.
But yeah,
And Smithy was there randomly. He
yeah,
like he ignored orders and went over there for vengeance.
because the
Yep.
Strangler is dead. So he was
Yeah.
very upset. His friend, the best friend, I think is what they pretty much said. He was pretty torn up over Strangler's death. So he went there to seek vengeance, and he doesn't make
Yep.
it.
Nope. It was really ironic that Smithy done burned to death or whatever happened. Well, actually,
Yeah,
what
it was
did happen?
so
Yeah,
well.
she. I don't remember how, but she ends up blowing up the whole house.
Yeah.
Yeah, she ends up just bombing her, nuking her house, and so everyone thinks she dies in that said
Yeah,
fire.
Yes.
along with Smithy, which no one knows
Along with
about Smithy,
Smithy.
but Smithy does die in the fire as well. But yeah, she does that basically to fake her own death, which is smart. I mean, you've already been in a lot of trouble. Like, fake your own death and you can work in the shadows.
Yep, and this is where I got so sucked in, I couldn't put the book down. I couldn't.
Yeah,
There were things to do, and I did not do them because I'm so sucked in.
yeah.
Because there's a good chunk, like the rest of this book, I did not really put any tags there because I was sucked in.
Yeah,
I was.
I didn't put as much as I did on everyone else, but I try to do at least the key points. But so Isabel, wakes up at the shipyard. Um, her dad is also arrested for high treason during these last chapters, and we also find out that Monty is actually the informant. In one of the pages, um, I put down specifically he has been called the informant by those who weren't in his circle. So right then I was like, yes, he
Okay.
is the informant that has been working in the shadows that Garnet worked for and everything like that. So um, she finds out the maid has been working for Monty, and Monty works for Garnet.
Yeah, and it all dwindles down to Monty and Garnet. Like
Yeah,
I feel like
yeah, for
that's
sure.
where everything was getting to towards this part. It's just everything is Monty and Garnet, and if I read it correctly, Monty worked for Garnet, and
Yeah.
Yeah,
so it started unraveling there. Like it was so compact in this huge mystery, and then once she started talking to Monty more around this part, he just started laying everything out, and he was like, there's no fake documents I left. Your parents really did are the people who I
yeah.
found this information on. And he starts telling her like,
He
you're
said this has been, he's been finding evidence for years, not just like
yeah,
recently. Like
yeah,
your family isn't innocent as she thinks they are.
yeah, and
Yeah, and on top of that, he calls her out for it too.
yeah,
He was like, "You were
Mm.
so dead set on your parents being innocent and good that you
He didn't
shaped
even
this
think
whole
for, yeah.
narrative away from
Mm-hmm.
them and insisted that they were okay." And it's like, no.
yeah. And
which is something she seems to do a lot of, because everything leads back to the Crimson. Like, everything was the Crimson's fault. Like, and now, her parents are innocent. Like, she just couldn't believe it.
Yeah, and it was just crazy because it started this like spiral of like, okay, so the Crimsons are not always at fault. Like, she's starting to hit this realization, and she's like, it's my fault that my parents got arrested for treason because I'm the one who figured all of this out. Like, all of these people were there and I helped them realize it. And Garnet and Monty have, like you said, been working for years to try to prove it. And so now I assume Isabel's feeling really guilty.
Yeah. And she pleads with Monty to help bring down Garnet.
Yep.
And that's when all of this expo, they plan to basically they meet and they plan to discuss how they're going to take them down at his expo, and I believe it was in 1 month. So they had a lot of planning to do in 1 month.
Yes, and I will say
I really enjoyed that their plan was to make Alex Corbin the hero. Like, he was supposed to be like, the hero that saves the day. And I was like, he deserved it.
Yes,
he was such a cool character.
Yes.
Funny.
Yes, I loved it.
Go ahead.
No, I was gonna say I loved Alex through this. He was great.
Yeah.
Yeah, his inner monologues were so entertaining.
Yes.
Because it's like him trying not to freak out while he's pulling this facade of, oh yes, I'm supposed to be this hero, so let me pose this way. And like some members of the circus troupe were trying to help set up the scene at the burnt manor, to where like the smoke rising at just the right angle to make him standing on this pile of rubble. He's so masculine, so heroic, and just like, and Alex is sitting here trying to talk and his voice is cracking, and I'm just like, no.
Yeah.
But
he was one of my favorite characters, I think, and Steve.
He was.
And Steve.
And Steve.
I will say when the whole everything. So I will say I did mark one single thing in gold. Because gold is like my favorite part, my favorite moment, and this is in this area of when the plan is going on, and he walks up to, I can't remember what his name was, but Alex walks up to Gage. That's right, Gage. And he's like, and they're just staring at each other, like staring and staring and staring, and wait for it, stared some more, and it's like, all right, we're gonna duel. And then he pulls out his briefcase, lays it down, opens it, and he goes, black or white. And they proceed to have a chess match. And I'm like, that is the most randomest thing that is fantastic. I loved that. That was my favorite part because I'm expecting like guns to be drawn. They're going to shoot each other. Nope. Just a good old game of chess. Which was really funny.
That was great.
Yeah, and that took place. When did that take place?
It gets close. It gets closer to the end when the plan is
like after chapter 24. It's like the last few chapters.
Yeah, it's the last few chapters. Yeah. But they basically have this whole month to plan everything out. And you're right. Alex ends up becoming the hero, but it's this, you don't really hear much of what the plan is until you see it executed later. I mean, you see it, but like obviously stuff's gonna go wrong with the plan, or something you don't think is gonna happen in the plan while all of that's happening.
Sure.
So
yeah, this is where I kind of skipped on writing a few things because, I got drawn in and I stopped writing notes because I was stopping every like page and writing notes and doing this and writing notes. I'm like, you know what? I'm just gonna finish the book. But I did note that the Isabel ends up meeting the Crow, and I thought that was cool. He's called the Crow. He was her contact at the newspaper.
Yep.
So all this time, she has like a little notebook, and I can just picture like me with my little like 2x2, 2 inch by 2 inch notebook, like writing everything down. She gives the crow her notebook with everything, all the theories, everything she found, and he ends up publishing an article from that notebook, like with everything in it. And I think that's when everything like almost turned against Garnett at this time.
Yeah.
If I can remember right, like he put him in a bad light, this article.
Yeah. Yeah. It was like tarnishing his reputation in place of all of the other inventors whose reputations he tarnished.
Yeah. It's basically trying to put him in the spotlight he was putting everybody else in.
Yeah,
and
Isabel was executing it via the Crimson Run column, which is the column that everybody reads.
Yep.
No one cares about the Industrial Revolutions and all the patent scandals because everybody's reading about the Crimson siblings and their runs. So
yes. Yeah. So the day of the expo comes and it is craziness. And I did not write anything about that.
Well, so it was a little yeah. It was a little all over the place and in a good way. So like you have Alex and Gage having their chess match going on. Then you've got you have Isabel,
which he makes them sign a confession paper.
Yes.
That was like, Corbin wins, and he makes him sign this like confession document, and he signs it.
He does. He lost.
Man of, I don't want to say a man of honor, but
yeah. Well, it was man of honor, but it was also the fact that I think Gage knew that the welders were dwindling in their numbers.
Yeah.
And they were fighting.
Strangler's dead. Smithy's dead.
Yeah.
Cleaver's
Steve
gonna die.
Kind of going off. Yeah, it's like it was Cog, Steve, Cleaver, and Gage that were left. Cleaver was having some internal struggles as a leader, and Gage was trying to be a good friend, but Cleaver just wasn't having it because they kept losing. And so Gage basically, he kind of metaphorically read the room and was like, we're done. So here.
Yeah.
Yeah, and in that ending, going towards the end of the book, its tensions are high because Isabel ends up getting stuck with Cleaver under the stage and is in this battle with him at that point. And I believe it was Jasper gets her out of there. And
also Brooks and Rivers. Somehow.
Yeah, so no, it's Brooks and Rivers that gets her out of there, not Jasper.
Yeah. And Brooks and Rivers are two constables that work under Brighton.
And work with Corbin sometimes.
Yeah.
But
if they like him.
Another thing that happens is Isabel is dead to the public eye. It has been announced that the heir had died. Well, in this, no one knows she's alive except for Monty. Monty is the only one that knows she's alive. So when she makes this plan and she shows up and she does all of this, Garnet finds out that she's alive. And so he makes an announcement publicly to the entire expo that she is actually well and alive and here to kind of try to put a wrench in a plan that she's got. And it's like, fuck you, that didn't work.
Right.
But
like she wouldn't expose, I think at one point she said, like, I wouldn't expose myself if my plan wasn't working the way I wanted it to work. Like, she had to throw her head on her shoulders,
She does. That's kind of where she did remind me of like a female version of Sherlock a little bit. Like she was very fun to read. But it's you see this whole thing play out, and Cleaver, either he dies or he gets arrested. I think he dies in that after a bit.
He got arrested.
Was it arrested? Okay.
Yeah,
a lot of people died.
More die at this point. Oh, yeah.
A lot of people died. That's why I'm like, okay.
Ending, I don't want to discuss that.
And then the end. Oh well. But it was a well put together plan, and you do see she's going to this truck that the shipment and supply is going out on in the back behind the stage. And so when she's back there, she notices Scarlet is acrobatically trying to get around to take care of stuff, and Jasper sneaks up to the front to cause a distraction for Scarlet, and Isabel ends up having the truck that has all of these weapons and supplies on it go into basically the ocean harbor that's right outside at the shipping yard type warehouse thing. She ends up sending it into the water, and to just be like a big old fuck you to Garnet and expose. And then with that article and everything coming out towards the end, Garnet does end up getting arrested for treason and
all
that stuff.
Yeah.
And then
literally everything he had been doing throughout the book.
Exactly. Yeah. And then it goes into, from there, him getting arrested. It moves on to talking about going into the epilogue. I believe that's where it ended, and then it goes into the epilogue.
Yeah, and it's like even when Isabel did everything that she could, Garnet's officially arrested, and all of his evil deeds have been revealed. None of it could have stopped the fact that both of her parents were getting executed for treason as well.
Yep.
So she lost her parents, and she's now under what is it, her uncle now takes care of her, or she has to live with him now.
She has to live with her uncle, and he's like, he wants her to do a whole 180, and it's like, you stay home, you're gonna act more like a lady, and you're done with all of this investigation silly business that you've been doing. And she basically goes and leaves the house.
Yeah, well, I think, what is it? She got to the house. She didn't even get a chance to take her coat off fully. She gets a letter with some information on it that basically reveals that Lord Garnet's gonna go run off to the countryside just like Upton Downey did.
Yep.
And so she ran to Garnet's estate. Sure, we'll call it that.
Estate.
And she goes off on him like, oh, you're gonna do what Downey did. Do you know, and at that point he reveals to her that he was trying to stop her parents' treason from the beginning. And there's so much more that she doesn't know about her family and her alliances and stuff. And I'm gonna let y'all finish.
Okay.
Because this is where I started getting confused, and I was like, whoa, plot twist, what? And I'm still trying to process it.
So basically, Garnet tells her that he was trying to stop her parents' treason from the beginning. And it's a good bit of back and forth between that, like trying to be like he's basically just telling her, you are, he basically tells her more than what she knows. Like, basically there's more to it than just, oh, your parents committed treason. There's so much more. There's so much you don't know. And so
I think, and at that point, wasn't he like pleading, because she had a gun, right?
She does have a gun.
She was about to like, and he was like pleading, it's like, I can help you, I can provide you more information if you just put the gun down, right?
Yeah, and he's basically,
because at one point she even, or he said, and in the end the traitors were hanged, Patriot lived, the thieves acquired a devastating weapon, and the crime lord of the Liverpool underground ran away with their fortune in currency and a weapon as like, and he says, you know, the cruel irony here is it's all thanks to her.
Yeah.
Everything she did led to this.
Like, yeah. Like everything has been wound up so tight, everything has been covered, everything's been hidden. And so because she dipped her toes in it, she started her investigating, she started everything, she's the reason all of this stuff has started. And once you get to the end of the book, the very last line is that she has
hang on, I want to say, okay. At one point, he says also, which I didn't put, but I also had it marked in my book, but it says, without your helping hand, your meddling, your persistence at the behest of justice and sheer idiotic will, none of this would have come to pass.
Mm-hmm.
Like, everything is, like you were saying, Shelby, like, everything she did got her parents hanged.
Yep.
Get all this.
Yep.
So, yeah, it was very interesting to hear, and I'll let you read what the last line was, or say what the last line, because of course it leaves on a cliffhanger. We don't know what happened. Of course.
Like, because reading the very last chapter, I'm like, oh, okay, it's solved, and then you read the epilogue, and you're like, it's not solved. It's like,
no.
Garnet puts out a cautious hand. There's so much more you don't know about your family, about their alliance. I can help you, Lady Vice. I can. And then Isabel pulls the trigger. And that's where it ended. And so I am excited to see where she goes with book 2. We did joke when we saw her. We were like, oh, are you gonna put romance in it? She goes, maybe the second book. Like, that's, you know, she did kind of make that little joke. And I'm like, okay, I mean, I could see where it could happen, but also I can see her not really focusing on that. She's more like, okay, let me find out what Garnet was talking about. I could see her in the second book moving on to getting more into that. But I'm very interested to see where she goes with her book. It took me by surprise reading this book. I did not realize how much I was going to enjoy it. And I did. I enjoyed it quite a bit.
I think Shelby said at the beginning, like, it's not usually the type of book, but this got me, was like, okay, I can read other books other than this and this. Like, very, very intriguing.
Yes, very.
I remember sitting with Shelby, I think, was it last weekend? And we were both reading books that the other person have already read. So we'd sit there, like, I already had finished Crimson Run, and I was reading something else, and she had already read my book. And so we'd sit there, and I would sit there and look at her, and she'd be so focused, and she'd be like plowing through all the chapters and stuff. But every once in a while she'd stop and be like, okay, so really, like, this happened? And I'm like, yes.
Yeah.
and just seeing her reactions in real time was, after reading certain parts, it's like she would explain to me which part she'd be at, and I'm like, oh man, that part's so good, keep reading. And she's like, okay, oh my gosh, and I'm like,
yeah. I think my takeaway from this was Steve, because it's just, I loved his character in this, and I hope to get more characters. Maybe not exactly like him, but more of the banter and the funny, witty stuff coming out, and just the sarcasm and everything. I don't know why I said
honestly
sarcasm.
Like all the wheelbarrows, like the construction workers.
Yes.
They're all funny, and the banter amongst the criminal gang, so to speak.
Yeah, and I love how even they had some character development.
They did,
even with them. I wouldn't have. I almost called it character growth, but it really wasn't growth. But some of it could have been growth. But I thought that was such an interesting choice, and I really loved how it turned out.
Yep, I agree.
I did too. Yep.
I did. I enjoyed it so much, and like I said, I can't wait to see where it goes. Hopefully, if and when the next book comes out, maybe we can do that as another book club month. Is reading.
I just looked. There's no ETA currently on it, so it's still in the works. She did say there is, even at the end of the book, what it says. I think that's where it says, like, to be continued in book 2, because every book worth reading has a sequel.
Yep.
So I was like, okay, there's for sure going to be a book 2. So.
Yep. And so that will lead us into talking about the next book, which is next month's book.
I don't know if it's gonna be on the screen.
Crystal's ready.
But we got.
I've got it right here.
As you see,
and you
I
got
already
it.
read half of it.
Yeah, and there's also I've got the picture above on what book it is. It is on Kindle Unlimited, so if you don't own it, you can definitely read it on Kindle Unlimited. This is
another author that I met at one of the events here where I live. So looking forward. I'm gonna reach out to her and see if maybe she can join or at least watch her stream.
Yeah.
That's why I was. We did try to pick the last Saturday of the month.
Yep.
We'll keep you guys posted, but hopefully we'll have a plan, more of a heads up on this one. That way, maybe the author can actually, come join us, or or maybe like you were saying, I think at one point in time we maybe can have a Q&A with the author, like once we discuss the books, like so stuff like that. But this next book is. We'll put triggers out there. Read as of always. The Crimson Run didn't have any triggers, but of course there is death in it. Always be mindful of your own health. Yes. Check your trigger warnings.
Yes.
We will read a range of books here, and this one is, as it says, a stalker romance. It is on the dark side.
I just noticed the skull on the front.
Be mindful of that. Yeah. Handcuffs, chains, skulls, and flowers. I mean, got it all right there. That's all you need, right?
All the fun stuff. So but we will definitely be reading this next month, and like Crystal said, just please be mindful, and there will be content warnings with this next book when we read it. It is more of me and Crystal's kind of books. I know Kendall is not a big dark romance reader, but you may join us, you may not.
Yeah, I may have to sit out. I may have to sit out this month, not just because of the book thing, just because school's starting back up.
Exactly, yeah.
And I'll be working technically 2 jobs, so
yeah.
I'll see how January works out. I really want to come back for February though.
Yeah, February. We're discussing February's book right now. We're figuring it out.
We're thinking fantasy February. I think that's what we wrote down
Fantasy February.
Fantasy February.
Yeah, that's what we're doing.
Yep.
Don't know what we're doing yet, but like we always say, if this is not the book for you, don't read it. If you still want to listen to our, us talk about it, that's great. But all because we read it doesn't mean, everybody has to read it. So
exactly. So, but if you want to dip your toe, like what we're doing with this, Crystal and I are definitely branching out from what we typically read. A little harder, but. And
I feel like me and you are a little bit different. Like we read. So far, I haven't found anything I can't read. So I may have my preferences, but
I've tried. Oh, chat's for. Oh. So Romeo says, I just paid for classes, but I will start reading because I need to expand my reading and start reading more. So I'm hoping with coming and doing this, it'll definitely open my variety on this. I'm not the biggest fan of horror. I don't mind mystery.
I'm just kidding.
I don't mind mystery as long as like the story's good. Like I've always been that way though. Like I'm not a. Some mysteries are good. Some mysteries I'm like, okay. If it drags out too much, it kind of gets bothersome. Like Crimson Run was perfect for me because it was still quick paced, but it had its draggy moments, but like it kept me entertained the whole time. Whereas some mysteries don't.
I think that really helped.
Yeah, and some mysteries don't do that. They just drag it out, and I'm like, okay. Can we move on, please? And then there, but I do lean, like, my preferences, I lean more towards dark romance and weirdly hockey. Still to this day, no idea why. No idea. It just, hockey's always like stuck with me. But I enjoy Greek mythology theme books.
As we say, if you guys have books just for our next reading,
Yeah.
let us know in the book chat or in our Discord. If you have any problems, reach out to us and we'll, get you taken care of. But we really look forward to broadening our reading.
Our read, yeah.
Everybody's got to read more. Mexican Gothic. Okay.
Yeah.
Sorry, I had to put that in chat.
Mexican Gothic for spooky season.
Okay.
It was a good read.
If you have some recommendations. Yeah.
Yeah. Goat recommends Raptor Red.
Ooh, I'm gonna look that up.
Yeah, that's one I've never even read myself.
I'll be honest with you.
He's always liked.
I kind of want to have my October book be Pen Pal.
That'd be a good one for Pen Pal. I would love to reread Pen Pal.
I loved Pen Pal. Or Grimm.
Oh.
That one.
I haven't even read it, but that hit my heart.
Yeah. Like,
yeah, that hit my.
That
would love.
That was such a good book.
Yeah, that was. That is. I've told people I've read 450 books in the last 3 years, and now going on 4 years because it's 2026 now. And Grimm is my #1 favorite book of all time. The Lord series, though, is my #1 favorite series of all time.
You had to break it up. You had to have multiple categories.
It was The Lords and Fourth Wing are like top tier for me. I know Crystal loves her ACOTAR though.
I do, but
I'm with you, girl.
So if it's, I don't know, it's kind of tied. I do absolutely love A Court of Thorns and Roses, but before that, my favorite book was Red Rising. By Pierce Brown. That still has an amazing, and the next book is coming out soon, so I'm gonna have to reread all 6 books. So yeah, Pierce Brown is one of my.
I have a series, and you cannot find it in the bookstore.
But I know that one. I know Red Rising, Shelby won't like. I know that. I'm pretty sure you won't like it. Has zero romance hardly, so
that's me. If it's got romance in it, I love it. I like that the romance aspect of things.
Well, this one didn't have romance.
No, it didn't, and I actually enjoyed it. That's why I said
still liked it.
Yeah, I mean now I will say a book it does have romance, but it's funny. If anybody is leaning towards more YA. It's an older book, and it's Perfect Chemistry series.
I knew you were gonna recommend it.
Yeah, that one's really good, and I have most of that book memorized. That's how many times I've read it. That was my intro into the mafia gang books, but it's not your typical read. There's not a whole lot behind going into the mafia. It's just he is in a gang, and it plays a crucial part in the book, but the book has so many other things about it. It's so good, and it's so funny when the romance aspect of it starts happening. Something funny happens, and you completely forget about the romance, and you're just sitting there laughing. But yeah, no, I've read things without romance. I'm trying to remember. I read Percy Jackson. Percy Jackson doesn't have romance. Much romance.
Yeah. One of these days I'll get you to read Red Rising and see if you like it. That might be once we do like another epic fantasy that's not as heavy as Red Rising.
Okay.
I'm gonna need Shelby to read Frankenstein. I need Shelby to read. I'm sitting here thinking of all the books that we had to read in AP Lit in school.
No, because I had to read 1984, and I got
The Book Thief. Read The Book Thief.
Oh my god,
I cried.
No. I don't read.
Did you read it?
Mm-mm. I read the first 3 chapters of that in school, and then never touched it again.
Oh, I cried.
Yeah, no.
I enjoyed reading that book.
No, I did not. I'm very I can't. Like I mean story heavy base books, I'm good. Like it's fine. I will one of these days pick up Red Rising. One of these days. It'll be shoved into my hands.
A step forward in the right direction.
I've heard of that. Romeo Says Legend series has romance, but it's kind of like Romeo and Juliet.
I've heard of it.
I've seen those books. Mm-hmm. I've just never read them.
Yeah. Me neither. Yeah. I'm excited to see where we go with these books.
Leave it to Romeo.
You know what? That is fact. But Romeo, shockingly, is. I mean, you like Romeo and Juliet, but has a very heavy obsession with Greek mythology.
Yeah.
Romeo has a very, very heavy love for Greek mythology. So she's actually reading Blood of Hercules right now.
And she almost DNF'd it because she was like, there's really inaccurate thing about Demeter because she's supposed to be the goddess of blah blah blah. And I'm like, yeah, but what if something went wrong?
Yeah.
What if something went wrong and that's why? And she's like, you're right. And she picked it back up.
Yep. Yeah. So it's pretty funny. But yeah, no. I'm excited to see where our year goes and what we read and what we do.
Yeah.
Because I know 2027 we're gonna have 1 month where it's just strictly gonna be that 4th book, man. Because the 4th book of Fourth Wing's supposed to come out next year.
Yeah, don't remind me. I'm not ready.
I'm ready.
Yeah.
I am so ready.
I'm not ready.
I'm ready.
I'm thinking about it and I'm crying.
Yeah, it's gonna be a rough one.
Yep. We've already gotten some spoilers for that book.
Haley.
Nothing better happen to my man. I swear to God. Riddick better live through this.
Or we riot.
Because, man, Riddick is, after Onyx Storm, Riddick is my favorite character of that entire series. I love Riddick so much. Or, you know what? Let's say this. We love Jack Barlow. Because if someone we love is going to die, then it's going to be Jack Barlow.
Yeah, we love Jack Barlow.
We love Jack Barlow.
Yeah. Love him.
Yeah. You can tell by the tones of our voices
how much we love him.
We're so not sarcastic in our voices.
Not at all. So.
You know, that reminds me of that saying of like when you talk to someone you like, your the tone of your voice goes up. And the entire time we were speaking in low voices and we were talking about how much we love Jack Barlow.
But how high my voice gets when I talk about Riddick.
Yeah.
Exactly.
I love it. It's so great. I can't wait. But yes, definitely my evil is gonna be the end of January. January 31st at the moment is where we have it planned. 6 o'clock.
I'll be done by this weekend.
I am gonna wait a little closer to the date because it will only take me maybe 2 to maybe 3 hours to get through this book. It is fairly
it is
thin.
Yeah.
And like I said, this is on Kindle Unlimited.
Sure.
So if you want to read it, yes, definitely check your triggers. Do what you're comfortable with. If anything makes you uncomfortable, please check before you read it. Your mental health is important. And we will see y'all in the end of the month for this book.
Yep.
And I hope everybody has a good night. Good night.
Good night, everybody.